Music and water will be the last thing to leave this earth because we can't live without water or music.
We can't live without music. I love just how many accolades and how many awards you have in the house.
You'll be the same way when you've been around 80 or 70 years, man. Come on.
You. Where was your start? When did you find that you had this love for music?
I wanted to be a gangster. I was from Chicago in the 30s, and I lost my mother when I was 7.
Right.
And I was a street rat, man. I saw dead bodies and Tommy guns and stogies and piles of money. My daddy worked for gangsters, the most notorious triple OGs in America's history.
Right.
Jones Boys. I'm doing a movie on it. And he built their homes, but these cats were rough, man. Whew. They had the Numbers Racket and the 5 and Dime stores, and they made $140 million in 1941. Capone freaked. He didn't know they were that smart.
Yeah.
And he ran them out of Chicago to Mexico.
Crazy.
And then after a while, he made a deal with him to cool off his hitmen. He sent him down there for 3 months to cool off, you know.
Right.
And when I was 7, the leader of the gang, Eddie Jones, his daughter wanted me to give her a haircut. She was 5. I cut all the hair off my daddy. I'm going to kick my ass, man. Do you know who her father is?
Right.
Yeah. And he's been a friend all these years. I'm doing a movie on his life, you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
They didn't play.
That's crazy.
But the young black kids don't know who these people are, man. Do you know who Paul Williams is?
No.
That's what I'm saying. He built the Beverly Hills Hotel. He built Saks Fifth Avenue, the airport, Sinatra, Lucille Ball, all the biggest architect in the history of L.A. In the 30s, he had to learn how to write upside down because he wasn't allowed to sit next to his white clients.
Oh, no way.
My daddy used to come see him every year.
That's crazy.
But you should know about these people, man. They're the greatest architects that ever lived.
That's insane.
And it's nice. It gives you hope when you see it's already happened. You know, you don't have to come up with it yourself.
It's crazy. I can only imagine how it was being a black creative back then, because even right now there's all this sense of oppression that we get as black creatives. And
you haven't seen no oppression.
Exactly.
Shit.
Exactly. That's
you
exactly
tried the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Get out of here.
And that's what I'm saying.
When we went to Vegas with Sinatra, when I went in there, Keely Smith's brother said, Frank wants to see you over there near the slot machines, and he had based his whole band. Because Vegas in '64 was so racist. Lena Horne and Belafonte were working in the big room for $17,000 a week. They were not allowed in the casino. They had to eat in the kitchen, sing, and go to a black hotel across town. So Frank said they ain't gonna have no more of that.
That's
so we came in, he had 18 Goombas, mafia guys, to put with each one of us.
Right.
And he stopped the racism in 1 year for Sinatra, for Basie, Sammy, myself, and Basie's band. He stopped it, man. Cold.
That's great.
He's a tough guy. He left me that ring.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, just because my family, we grew up off of The Wiz and Color Purple, and those are just The Wiz, and that something that inspired me as an African American and throughout musical theater. That's where
What year were you born?
I was born in 98.
Oh, please.
Yeah. My mom introduced me to The Wiz and told me that this is a musical that I needed to learn and that I needed to study because of her infatuation with the fact that a predominantly all black cast.
I know they were pissed off about it too. I was on the board then, and they said, how dare they make a black version of that white classic? And they played the old one the next Sunday at the Academy because they were really pissed off that we made it, that we did it, you know. And my Oscar was taken from me on that.
That's crazy.
Taken from me, man.
Watching that movie as a child, younger, I mean, I still am a child, it's something that did change my perception on just musical theater. For me, that's one of the reasons that I fell in love with it. And like after seeing the movie, I actually joined like our musical theater department in my high school. And I auditioned for my first musical, which was Hello Dolly. And I
98, you were born?
Yeah.
God damn. What was I doing? Well, I made Hughes Juke Joint in 97. I don't know, what was I doing?
It's crazy. I definitely was.
It's been 7 decades, man.
Yeah. I think about that all the time. Just
That's the
being
thing
so
is,
young.
guy did an interview with me last year about comebacks. I said, if you never go away, you don't have to make a comeback because you
Right.
never leave.
Right, exactly.
If you grow as you go, you don't have to go away.
That's right. How was it working on Thriller with Michael?
Hey man, working on everything is a dream.
Right.
It's a gift from God. It is.
It is.
Because it's hard, man.
Yeah.
We went through 800 songs to get 9 for Thriller.
That's crazy.
And then after we get to 9, I always sit down in the corner, drop the ego, and say, what are the 4 weakest songs of these 9, relatively?
Right.
You have to be very honest about that. And I took out some big songs. Mike Sambella wrote Carousel. It's a cat that had Flashdance, you know.
Yeah.
And Toto sent me some songs. I wasn't really crazy about the songs they sent, but I left Rod and I were at home, and we left the tape on.
Right.
And after about 20 minutes, we heard do 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 boom, do 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 do.
Right.
It didn't have lyrics on it, and I said, "That's it." I was looking for a harmonic kaleidoscope, you know.
Yeah.
I was looking for that to follow the mantra of Billie Jean with just 3 chords in it, you know. And it worked, man. It worked. Everybody,
Crazy.
Miles, everybody did it, man. I was so
Yeah.
happy.
It's crazy.
Because the songs are the secret, man.
Yeah,
The singer's the messenger. The songs are the secret.
that's true.
A great song can make the worst singer in the world a star. And a bad song can't be saved by the 3 greatest singers in the world.
Yeah.
And I learned that 50 years ago, thank God. No, it's just good to know, though.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
but songs are it, man. The singers are the messenger.
It's also about how the song makes you feel.
Well, of course it is, man.
Yeah.
Of course it is, but it ain't new.
Yeah,
They've been doing it a long time, man. But those early brothers, Brahms, Beethoven, they took up all the good shit, man. They used up all the good notes.
right, right. How was it working with Oprah and on The Color Purple? How was that?
Fine. It's like working with another musician. I had to go do a court case for Michael. He was accused of plagiarism on The Girl Is Mine, and had to Walter Yetnikoff sent the plane for me to go in there to go to court.
Right.
And I couldn't sleep, so I kept turning on TV, and I kept seeing this woman on there. I said, "Damn, if she can act, that's Celie. I mean, that's Sophia."
Yeah.
And I finally found out her name from a friend of mine after
Right.
3 days. When I sent the tapes to Spielberg, and she did a test. She did a acting test there.
Yeah.
He take 2 lines from the script, and they had the ad lib for 40 minutes. And Oprah killed it. I got it. I got it
That's
on tape, man.
crazy.
It is no joke.
Right. And on that
She
moment,
killed
you
it,
just,
man.
you just knew.
She said, "Nigga, I'll sit on your black ass." No. He said, "Don't you mess with me. I'll sit on your black ass."
That's crazy.
You wouldn't know Oprah on that
Yeah,
test,
yeah, yeah.
man. She killed it, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I knew we were right. And Whoopi was working in the streets in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Because at that time, Stephen wanted to use Diana Ross. So Stephen, no. Let's get some purple people.
Right.
And we did.
Right.
And we got 11 Oscar nominations.
Crazy.
Stephen wasn't even nominated.
How does that feel?
It feels as good as it gets, man. 11 nominations?
Yeah,
Get out
exactly.
of here, man, please. And we couldn't win because he wasn't nominated. They were jealous of him.
Yeah.
So he asked me to be his date to go to the Directors Guild. And 250 guys at the Academy scared to death of him. He was frightened him, you know, because he was so good. Him and Lucas, you know, they revolutionized movies.
Right.
And we went to the Directors Guild, and 7,800 directors. I'm sitting right next to Sidney Pollack. You know, I'd done his first movie.
Yeah.
And he had Out of Africa, which killed us, you know.
Yeah.
And they couldn't vote for us because Stephen wasn't nominated. You know, if the director, you get 11 nominations and the director's not in there, something's wrong.
Right.
But we changed all the rules after that.
That's crazy.
For the songs, so Isaac Hayes could win, so the Beatles could win, so Prince could win. I never knew it would go as far as It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
Yeah, I
The
know.
3-6 Mafia. Yeah, but we changed all those rules,
Right.
We ushered hip hop into the mainstream,
Exactly,
man.
yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all that stuff.
I know. Fresh Prince.
In the House with LL Cool.
Yeah.
He was engaged to my daughter too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince is just, that's awesome.
It's nice.
Thank you. How to.
Oh man, that's Tiffany, isn't it?
I was Cartier.
Huh?
Cartier.
Yeah, but they go through Tiffany, don't they?
Oh, I don't actually know.
My friend owns
I just
Tiffany.
saw it. I liked it.
Yeah, huh? That's nice. That's some pimp
Thank
stuff
you.
there.
My mom was definitely not a fan.
Why?
She
didn't like the bracelets?
She was like, "Why are you spending all that money on it?" I was like, "Look, because
How much they cost?
It cost a lot.
How much?
I want to say around. This one's probably $7,500.
7,500. Well, that's all right, man.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I felt like each one I got was just based off of the accomplishment that I kind of garnished.
It's great.
Yeah, and just
There they are.
Looking back, I mean, when I started writing music, I wrote my first song my senior year in high school, which was 2016, 2015. So it was just crazy.
1998.
Yeah, and so when I made all these accomplishments and I set all these goals for myself, and I stopped listening to a lot of the negativity that I was getting for, one, being a creative, being African American who wasn't afraid of his musicality. And so I told all these people
What do you mean, the technique, the science
yeah,
of music?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I told all these people who doubted me, I told them, I was like, look, a year from now, this is where I'm going to be. But when you put that out into existence, it's like, okay, now you have to put in the work behind it to make it true. For everything that happened as fast as it happened to me, it's crazy, it's unreal. And so after each accomplishment, I got myself a couple of things that I look at and I'm like, wow.
To remind you.
To remind me, it's
Yeah.
just, walking around, your house and looking at the Grammys, it's just crazy because I have 5 noms, which is insane to think about. And it reminds me, seeing all these accolades and seeing all these awards, is that it's reachable, it's in your reach. But it's about if you're going to put up the work and the effort and to make things that you love and that you truly believe in. So it's super inspiring just being in here and just seeing everything that you've worked on and all even that sheet music.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all my favorite composers here too.
Mm-hmm.
That's Star Wars, Saturday Smile with Johnny. I mean, all my friends, we all started together, Johnny
Yeah.
Williams at Sprinkler Drain out in Universal. Bernie Herman, he wrote all the Hitchcock stuff.
Right.
From the day we started in music, I wanted to be a gangster till 11. Then I changed to music at 11 when we broke into an army. And Ray Charles would not let us do anything but be loyal to every genre, man, whether it was Sousa, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, Debussy, pop music, strip music.
Right.
We played everything, man. In the 40s in Seattle, we played the White Tennis Club, Seattle Tennis Club, with white cardigans, and played pop music with cup mutes and everything on. Then we go to Washington Educational Social Club, which was a bottle club. That was in the hood, and played for rhythm and blues. We did comedy, everything. We did everything, man. Dance, sing, comedy, everything. Played with elephants, with Billie Holiday, with Billy Eckstine, with Cab Calloway, and we
Billie
were not
Holiday.
afraid. We could compete with them.
Yeah.
At 14 and 15, we could handle it.
I love Billie Holiday.
And so we were a big fish on a little pond from Seattle. So when we got to New York, we weren't afraid. Like the New Yorkers were afraid because they got to face Charlie Parker and Miles and Mingus, But it was an amazing journey.
How many instruments can you play?
After I stopped being a gangster, the next day I went to Robert E. Kuntz Junior High School. I played sousaphone, tuba, B-flat baritone, E-flat alto, French horn, trombone, so we could play in the marching band with the majorettes.
Yeah.
The trumpets in the back, so I went with the majorettes.
Yeah.
And got the trumpet. That's why I like to write for brass, because I played
Right.
all the brass
Yeah,
instruments.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know them backwards,
Yeah, exactly.
Sousaphone, tuba, I love it.
It's crazy.
And nothing beats the process of knowing those instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what a trombone does, the pedal B flats and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
The range of every instrument.
in theory, it's kind of the same.
How to transpose it, all of that. It's serious journey.
There's a lot that comes with it that people don't really see in production.
I know they don't. I know they don't know it's there.
Yeah.
You know, but that's why you have to dig it up.
Yeah.
And go for it.
I feel like that's the magic of
music. If you're going to be special.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to.
Yeah. I don't play any instruments.
Well, you learn some. Learn some, man. You play piano?
I got to. No.
Oh, come on, man. Music business, bro.
I know. I feel like...
Get busy.
Yeah, I have an interest in learning how to play guitar and how to play piano because for me, I feel like it would make songwriting so much easier.
It
because
would. It would.
In my face.
It would.
Yeah.
It opens up a door for you.
Right.
It lets you know what music is about, man.
Yeah.
Because it's a trip. And there's only 12 notes, man.
Yeah.
That's it. And basically, Asia and Africa uses pentatonic music, which is a bo bo do bo do 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 5 notes, and then there's diatonic, bo do 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 do, you know, which is all we can hear because the chromatic of the 12 notes you can't hear all that stuff, you know, but you got to know it, you know, in the quarter tones like the Indians do, and Arabs, it's heavy.
Super heavy.
And it's different all over the world, and it reflects their civilization.
Yeah.
You know, how they deal with pain.
Right.
That's where the blues came from.
Yeah.
Pain and racism and all that stuff. It shows you how to protect yourself, you know.
And it's crazy how something like that just influences music. Once you find out what it was, once you kind of discover and create it, it influences everything.
Well,
after
Africa is all about the difference between European music, which is concerto music and virtuosity and concerts and so forth. That's what the European music is about.
Right.
African music is about life force music, virginity rites, circumcision rites and everything else. And that's where all the field hollows came from, to make your life easier. And if a woman upsets your ass, you know what blues to sing to get over it. You know? It's heavy. And you know what? Music and water will be the last thing to leave this earth because we can't live without water or music.
We can't live without music.
How long could you go without music?
6 hours.
I don't think it's
6 hours
possible.
while I'm sleeping.
That's what I'm saying. You couldn't do more than a day.
Yeah, I don't think you can
But
go
nobody
a day
can live without music or water.
Music is within everything.
Water too?
Yeah, water. is
H2O.
For me, I feel like my biggest competition obviously is myself, and I feel like I'm so in my head about everything, and producing is one thing that I have an interest in, but I feel like I have difficulty jumping all the way in.
Why?
For me, I mean, I feel like it's hard. It's a lot.
I know
of
it
work.
is, man, but you can't get an A if you're afraid of an F.
Yeah.
You can't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it's about just building, and for me, I never know when to stop because.
But she can't deal with fear, man.
Yeah.
No, the only fear I had in my life was because I lost my mother at 7, was not being prepared for a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to be ready for whatever comes.
Right.
That's when Sinatra called me. I was 29, you know, and I was ready.
I knew music was for me was the moment I heard my mom sing, because that's where I got my voice. My mom can sing circles around me if she wanted to.
She's from church.
Yeah, she grew up off of all of that.
BYPU, right?
Yeah,
Baptist Young People Union.
She grew up off of all of that, but then she joined a girl group when she was around my age, and then she joined the military to support me.
What was she in?
She's in the Army.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
She started, I want to say, in North Carolina, and then she went all over the world. I lived in Germany
go to
for
Frankfurt?
6 years. I lived in Heidelberg, which is 1 hour away from Frankfurt.
I know.
Yeah.
And Worms is there, too.
Yeah.
That's where Rod Templeton was raised.
Yeah.
That's why I call him Worms.
So hearing my mom still have this voice and still singing even though she was in the Army, she still loved music, and she sang to me every single night. And that's kind of where I knew that it was for me, because I felt like it was in my blood, just seeing her infatuation, how.
But you can't deal with no fear, man.
Yeah.
You got to go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And give it everything you've got, because nothing frustrates me more than people that say, well, that's only worth 15% of my interest in art. That's all I'm going to give it.
Right.
You give it 200% every time, man. Get out of the fear zone. Yeah, get out of the fear zone, because I'm feeling fear here. I don't like that.
Right.
Dive in, man, with everything you got, and give it 200% of your soul, and it'll come back twice as full. I promise you.
Yeah. I know. I feel like
No fear.
no fear. I can't even say I feel.
Nothing scares me, man. Nothing.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't care what kind of music
You
you
just
got.
gotta do it.
Bring it out, man.
If the passion's there, if the drive is there. Then
And the
you just
more
gotta
you
do it.
learn about it, the less fear you have, because you know what everybody's done with it. You know that Adolf Sachs in Belgium in 1760 invented the saxophone. It was a SAXE. But the only classical guys that played it was Ravel and Bolero. All those things are like little historical movements
Right.
for development, man.
And then it impacts life.
Yeah.
After that moment.
Yeah, and guys like today, it's like disco, man. Basie was doing Forward to the Floor, man, in the 1930s. And 70% of hip-hop slang comes from jazz, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
think that the breakdance came from the Bronx, man. You know that's bullshit. It came from Capoeira in Brazil.
Yeah.
It's a martial arts been there 1,000 years with Macumba, you know.
That's
They
true.
don't know. They think it happened in the Bronx. It's bullshit.
People don't even
You
study
know, because once you acknowledge who your predecessors were, man, it opens up your mind, keeps you from being,
that. Right.
you know,
Yeah.
narrow-minded.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's got to keep that mind open.
Because there's so much that comes with
Yes,
it that
sir.
we don't even
Yes,
think
sir. And
about.
it's a lifestyle. The bebop thing was almost like a political revolution, man.
Right.
Everything in it, man. Even the mixed marriages and stuff like that. All of that stuff was part of a revolution. Bottom line, Khalid, is every time you approach your creativity, you have to do that with humility. And your success with grace.
Right.
Or God walks out of the room. And you're going in with an attitude like, I got a #1 record, I'm better than everybody else, man.
Yeah.
That's not the way it is.
It shouldn't be how it should
Humility.
be. Right.
Humility and grace.
Yeah.
All my kids have that.
Oh, yeah.
All of them.
That's how, I mean,
Yeah.
my mom put that into me at an
Yeah,
early
it's very
age.
important, man, to have your principles together, because the principles go with your musical training, you know.
And it's about, I mean, we all have a purpose. It's what we're doing it for. And
Yeah,
it's just all
that's
about-
right. But passion, man.
Yeah, it's about
and
the
going all
passion.
the way. What sign are you?
I'm an Aquarius.
Okay, what day?
February 11th.
Okay, my daughter's the 9th.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, I love being an Aquarius. I mean,
I'm right behind you, Reed. Pisces.
I think
You
it's
gotta
just,
love it, man. That's all
yeah,
you got.
Yeah, exactly.
See, your sign has more effect on you than your parents do.
Right.
You know your ascendant,
Yeah.
your rising, and
Oh, actually, I forgot.
that's your best friend.
Yeah.
Forgot my ass.
Yeah.
You know, that's your best friend. Mine is Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my ascendant. My descendant is Scorpio.
Right. That's crazy. That's things I definitely need to study.
That's who you are, man.
And like
It's fun to know.
it was crazy because I was checking my horoscope. I was checking for Aquarius, and I just saw so much that was just so relative to me that it just changed my perception on just how I thought about everything. That's something that I really want to kind of research and learn
What's
a lot more
your
about.
background?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. And your signs, I studied astronomy 27 years with John Glenn, the astronaut. Man, I learned so much from him, I can't tell you. He looked like he's 3,000 years old, but man, he taught me so much. We talk about sunsets. There's no sunsets, man.
Yeah.
Up here, I see it, because it comes up in the west, in the east, rather. It's heavy.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, I know. The view that you have is ridiculous.
You see everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And we
You see
designed the house so you can't miss it.
Yeah. How did it affect your outlook living or visiting all of these different countries on life?
Man, the feeling of going every country in the world and feeling home there is the greatest feeling in the world.
Oh, yeah.
You know all the food. You know the language, man. Like Mamland Dushana, which is Gerald Stockholm. It's called Shutbulau Mepetata Schmoose. It's all the same stuff, man. Or feijoada in Brazil, batacata, macumba. It's the same stuff, man. And once you get the soul of each country, it becomes yours.
That's how I feel about
everywhere, man. I feel at
Everywhere.
home everywhere in the world.
I loved going to Australia and New Zealand. I felt like
They made me a Maori chief. Yeah, I got a jade bracelet.
Oh, that's
white,
so
white,
cool.
white robe, you know, and everything. There's a lot of gangsters in New Zealand. Did you ever go to the other side?
No.
Man, there's Hell's Angels. There's 6,000 gangsters and only 5,000 cops. Our history's a trip, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But you learn that at the same time, you know, as the other stuff, you know, it goes with the language and everything else. 'Cause everything we do here is like 300 or 400 years, you know.
Right.
But you go to Rome, and we go to a 5-star restaurant. We eat a pasta ragu, which I cook, and that's with the chopped carrots and everything. And it's expensive as hell, man, at a 5-star restaurant. But you go to the airport, and the same dish, which is 1/10 of the price, you can't make it any better. They've been doing it for 4,000 years.
Yeah.
And all the countries are like that.
Yeah.
Except us.
I know.
You know.
The history just strings back way
It's heavy,
way
isn't it?
back. It's super heavy. I saw the sheet music for We Are the World. I thought that was super
With all
awesome.
the people's name on it.
Yeah. And the awesome thing about that is just that's such a song that impacted my upbringing and my family and my mom. Like that's a song that my mom
We wouldn't have done it if Bob Geldof and Bono hadn't done Live Aid. The Delaphone said, they're doing it, we ain't doing nothing. Let's
Right.
do it. And
Was
they
it
wanted to go
difficult?
on the road. I said, no way to take all the maniacs on the road. We'll do a record first.
Yeah. Was it difficult getting everybody in there and teaching them all the songs?
No, I'd already done it with Donna Summer. That's why they called me.
Yeah.
I'm the only one crazy enough to deal with all them people.
Right.
Yeah. We on State of Independence, we had Stevie, Lionel, Michael, Diana, all of them.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was exciting.
For me, the way that I start songs is based off of, I'll start with the melody. So then...
What else?
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
So when you
The
start off with
melody is the king, man, the queen.
Yeah, when you start off with the melody...
That's God's voice.
Yeah.
The melody is God's voice.
Then you put to how do these sounds, how do these make me feel? What do I feel when I hear it? Then that's when you put the words in. And I feel like for me, the words, it's not necessarily the most difficult part because it comes natural. I mean, I feel like a song should never be forced. If you don't feel it when it's there, then start a new idea and then keep going. I feel like a lot of people probably think that you have to keep trying with the same song until it's whatever. It's like, I mean, I don't ever want to sing a song I'm not in love with.
You what?
I don't ever want to sing a song I'm not in love with.
No, you shouldn't write one you don't want to sing.
Exactly.
Every song you write, you should want to sing it.
Exactly. Because, I mean, once you create it, it's there for forever, even past life. It's there. So why am I going to create a song that I know that I'm going to have to sing it to the day that my heart stops beating? Why would I want to create a song that I hate?
Oh, nobody wants to
yeah.
do that. No. Everybody wants the best, you know, but you have to realize what you're going to put into it to make it the best, man.
You got to put a lot of work. A lot of work.
Yeah.
But
That's what it takes.
but in the moment, the work is just, it doesn't even necessarily feel like work because
It's passion.
it's passion.
Yeah.
It's
But it
something
still
that you
ends up
wanna
being
do.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. My least favorite numbers are number 2, 6, and 11. You ever hear anybody talk about I got a top 6 record or top 12, 11 record? And if I'm number 2, I want to be number 1.
Right.
The hell with number 2. It's an amazing journey, though, brother, and you're going to see.
Thank you.
You're 19, huh?
Yeah.
Shit.
I got a long way to go.
It is unbelievable. And I learned very early when to shut up And remember why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. You know why?
Why?
You're supposed to listen twice as much as you talk.
Right.
Yeah. 2
That's
ears,
true.
1 mouth. Shut the fuck up and listen and learn. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And you enjoy it, you know.
I know I'm enjoying everything right now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have so much to learn.
Yeah, just roll with it, man.
I know.
Music and girls, man. Oh, please. You know, Frank was always trying to hook me up with Marilyn Monroe, you know, but I like Mamie Van Doren better.
Ooh.
You know who Mamie Van Doren is? Google her. She don't play, man. She make Marilyn look like Mike Tyson. She's fine now. She left a message for me. She said, I'll be in a chartreuse convertible 4 blocks from here. Don't make me wait.
Oh, that's funny.
Paris. Woo.
But yeah, I appreciate you for allowing me
You
to
too.
be
You too,
in
man.
your home.
But
and
no,
just-
but they did it to me, man. I mean, I had all the guys, man, the kings. Like Ellington said, may you be the one to decategorize American music, you
Right.
know. I mean, they trusted me, man, and handed me responsibility, man, and I lived up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So I'm not going to let
appreciate
them Duke Ellington down.
Right.
Never
No
stop dreaming.
fear.
Yeah. And believe.
Thank you.
And humility and grace.
That's something I'm going to keep with me forever.
Really important.
I appreciate you.